standing. And let's feel the solidity in the lower body. So feel the floor. Let the legs and hips be stable. Nothing in particular, just feel strong and balanced. And we're going to do some shoulder shaking, right? Just like when we shake anywhere else, we're trying to release tension there and release sort of like places where it's like grooves that we wear into our movement system. And we're just trying to shake it out and clean it up a little bit. Let's shake the hands and the elbows a little bit. For my wrists, I try to make a whole circle, like when we do our joint freeing circles, I try to do a full 360 just to make sure I'm doing all the possible ways. Okay, let's come on up and put our feet together. And then we're going to bend our knees. Hands are at the knees, and we have as big of a bend as we can get without the back heels popping up, and then we're going to circle. Okay, let's take a few laps the other direction. That just means starting with our knees straight. They're going to bend as they move forward and then meet up and then come back again. Awesome. Let's come on back upright. We're going to link the hands and flip them, and then the hands and arms come up. Feel that stability of the straight arms and the upper body. We're trying to hold that. This is basically like a standing staff pose, but they call it the palm tree pose. So here's where we lock our eyes on the ground and lift our heels, and it helps to press the heels together. Awesome. Let's go ahead and land the heels. We're going to take our hands to the hips so that we can pull our elbows back. And that's my new little trick to get my shoulder blades pulling in, to get the upper body opening. Just keep the elbows pulling towards one another, and let's fold it forward halfway. All right, when our back is flat, pause right there. And then see if we can switch effort from pulling away from the floor to lengthening tailbone, back, and crown of the head forward. Okay, gently lower in, let the upper body come to rest. Find a place that we can just hang loose, but the stretch is still happening. The legs are still reporting in. Okay, let's bend our knees enough to get our hands to the ground, and when we re-straighten the knees, right leg is extended back behind us, right? Test out the balance. Give all your weight to your left leg and let the hands be just to help out the balance, okay? And then we're going to bend the right knee, point the right knee up to the sky, and lean forward. Let the center of the body move forward. And I like to sort of circle a little bit. Circle using the support of my hands over that left foot just to sort of try it out. Make space in the left hip as well. All right, a little bend to the knees to make us more mobile, and we'll just get the right foot to the floor. When we straighten, we have the left leg projected back now. And we'll do our little test with our hands, lifting our hands, see how the right leg responds. The right leg's got a lot of responsibility. Now we'll just bend the left knee and point it upward, leaning forward through the front of the hips. Okay, let's land the left foot. Feet right next to each other, and then we'll go on and bend our knees and let the upper body drape over the knees. Notice the space that we're making lengthwise in the spine and also widthwise across the shoulders, and breathe into that. Use our breathing to help stretch the back. Okay, let's just roll it back, and we're going to have a seat with the soles of the feet glued together, and we'll hold the ankles and give them a little scoot, or they don't have to move. We just want to lock in up here the upper body so that they call it bound angle pose, and we want that feeling of pulling against our limits, or physical, right? Pulling against the shape of our body. So like usual, we'll get the lower back active and pushing forward. We'll get the crown of the head active and going skyward. And now we'll start pushing our knees down toward the floor. Steady, all those directions we're pushing. Back vectors. Lower spine goes forward, crown of the head goes up, knees go down. See if you can find a way that it feels cool and it feels all engaged. There's usually a sweet spot with these poses that just feels right, and try to find it. Okay, let's switch our hands here and go around the toes. And we're going to reach up through the top of the head, push forward from the lower spine, and now we're trying to get our knees into our shoulders. Just the direction. And when we find that limit, we just keep on pulling. Okay, that's good. Let's let the toes go, and we'll go straight with the knees and very wide. Okay? We're going to, in order to spare the muscles inside the legs, we're going to use our hands and arms here in front of us so that we can gently walk it forward. Okay, let's roll it on back upright. And let's get set up for some eagle legs. Let's take the left leg on the bottom. So we're going to bring that left foot out by the right hip. And the right on the top, again, crosses over. And we're basically just trying to get the knees stacked, the knees pointing forward. Take a moment to build a regular
gentle but strong, easy pose above it. Belly's relaxed, lower back's tucked, and the upper body is balanced effortlessly. Okay, let's add the arms and the shoulders to it. So arms are both out because the left leg's on the bottom. Let's take the left arm on the bottom, twine them way up under the chin, and then twine them together as many times as we can until they're pressing into one another. Let's close our eyes and really go in there, in particular, feeling what the arms can tell us, both muscularly and pressure-wise and skin-wise. Feel what the arms are feeling and press them into one, right? Press them into one another. And then reach away with our eagle bill. Push away with the eagle's face and then start to pull the elbows up. So we're pushing away with the hands and up with the elbows. And together into one another with both arms. Okay, let's come on back. We can undo the arms and let's just do a little fold here forward over the knees and see what we can find there in the hips. All right, let's roll it back upright. And whenever we come into our place, let's undo the legs and redo with the right on the bottom. We're just trying to get the knees stacked up on top of one another. Feet hugging in towards the center line. Okay? And then we'll make it with the arms. Right leg's on the bottom, so we'll take the right arm on the bottom, twine them together securely. Hands are pressing together. Take a moment to really feel the length of both arms. Make it one big arm by pressing together, and then go long with the bill. Keep the hands, the fingertips pushing away, and then the elbows start to pull up. And of course, we're talking elbows and fingers, but it's the shoulders where we're doing the good work. So feel in the shoulders and keep the arms and the hands going away. All right, let's take apart the arms, and then we'll take a moment to fold forward again. All right, let's roll it upright. And let's undo the knees, and we're going to get them right here in front of us and give them a little hug. And then let's see if we can bounce on the tailbone or on the back of the hips. Just notice for a second how we do that. And then maybe while we stay hovering, we'll undo the arms and make a boat out of it. And whenever we want a little break, we just come in and take the pressure off for a moment, and then we can go back long, or we can stay here. Just make it your own pose. Lots of different kinds of boats. I like the Dhow, D-H-O-W. I think that one is from the Arabian Peninsula. It was like an exploring or a merchant ship that traded with Africa a lot, but I just love the way that word looks, D-H-O-W. Mm-hmm. It was one of those ones you would recognize it. It was solid. The sails were solid. There were spines. It looks really spiny. Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't even know what we're doing. Let's take the legs out straight We're talking about ships. Oh yeah, the boat pose. And now let's reach up and then fold it forward. I got carried away into my mental boats instead of the physical boat. That's all right. I was reading a book recently that stressed the importance of trading with like India, Vietnam, China, Southeast Asia, and the Arabian Peninsula and the coast of Africa. There was a whole nother, when we read history, it's based on the Mediterranean region, but they had their own separate thing over there that was building up culture and layering cultures. It's usually when it's interesting when they start layering the Arabic and the Chinese and the African all together. It's cool. That's what that book, that History of the World in 100 Objects, I think that's where I was reading about that. Because they would find dumps, like old dumps, and they would find layers of like, oh, here's where they had some vases shipped in, or bowls shipped in from China. Here's where they had ceramics from the Middle East. It was cool to see them, see the layers of it, I guess. All right, let's gently roll it back upright.
When we go to Colonial Williamsburg, they always have a dig going.
Oh, cool, yes.
Yeah, they're always uncovering stuff.
Right. All right, let's take our hands down by the hips and we're going to push down. Keep a steady press down into the ground. Keep the shoulders pulling back towards the spine. Okay? And release the push. Let's cross the left leg over the right, and we're going to reach up for some space and hinge it forward. Okay, let's roll it up. And then we'll undo the legs. Let's redo with the right on the top. Put space in the spine by reaching for the sky and then hinge it forward. Get tall through the crown of the head and find it in the back of the left leg. And once we found it, now we just get comfortable. But while it's still happening, keeping that fire going in the back of the left leg. Okay, let's roll it back upright. And we'll take both legs out straight. I love this next pose, and I thought my students would love it, but they don't. But I'm hoping you'll like it. This is called the archer pose. And first we're going to do a forward fold, right? Just fold forward over both legs. And we're going to take our index finger and middle finger on both hands. The right go around the right big toe, and the left go around the left big toe. And then for now, the left arm stays out straight. That's our bow. And the right toe is the bow string. And we're just pulling back towards our ear. And find the limit. Keep leaning into it. It is awkward balancing. Let's switch up, okay? So this time the right arm will be the bow. We'll draw with the left.
And what are we stretching?
For me, it's my back. It's mostly between my shoulder blades, also the sole of my foot, the inside of my quad, like the inside of my left leg. But you can turn it into however, you can make it stretch whatever you would like.
Okay, that's good. Let's let that go. And let's bring, this time the hands are going to come down just behind the hips, fingertips pointing in, and we'll take some reverse plank. Okay? Knees stay straight. We're just going to press down to lift the hips and find a way to do it steadily and consistently, taking the front of the body up. Remember to breathe with it. All right, let's come on down. And then let's switch it up and find ourselves a tabletop. Okay, let's go ahead and reverse our grip so we got our fingertips pointed back. Remember to ease the weight onto the forearms and the hands. Notice if we're sort of pulling away. I know I am. My collarbones and my head draws upward to protect my arms and wrists from the stretch. Once you sort of assure your wrists and forearms that it's okay, settle with the chest and across the collarbones. Notice how the weight of the upper body lands in the shoulders. Okay, let's turn this into some cat-cow. Our inhale is going to take us up. Our exhale is going to let the spine drop. When our chest is down, that means the tailbone and the crown of the head is up, and vice versa. And I switch up usually every other time I do this, which shape is which part of the breath. There are benefits of both sides, so whichever way feels best to you. I do like to move with the breath, but it's just not super important which is the inhale and which is the exhale. I'm excited. I got a new project, I'm always trying new ways to get the kids, because obviously they're not going to just dance. If I say, hey, dance, they're like, nope, we're going to sit. But we're going to combine it with some sword choreography, some sword dancing, which should be great. I got sticks, of course, no live blades. All right, let's take the hands back around forward. But I found this incredible diagram, a YouTube video, called this Myers square, and it's a square with 4 sets of 1, 2, 3, 4 running around it from the corners in, and it's to teach you it's like swinging movements, you know. So we're gonna start with that and then match it up to some music. Should be fun.
This is such a good job for you.
Yeah, I know. I get to nerd out.
Wow, you're so creative.
I've learned I have to look for it, or I have to be open to it. I can't just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to have a good idea now. I just have to make sure, number one, that I've taken care of myself enough that I'm having ideas, because when I feel badly, that just stops. That flow just stops. So I make sure I'm doing good, and when the ideas come, I have to make sure to take them seriously, like pause and write it down, you know, or make a YouTube playlist or whatever it is. I have to tell myself, like, this is how things become real. It takes effort for me to sit still long enough to put it into a physical shape, even enough to take a note. Sometimes I'm like, I'll remember that, you know, I just keep rolling on. And I have my task, and what makes the reason I've gotten into a good place with my music is I can record with it anywhere, and I can always save it. I can keep adding things to it. Yeah. Okay, let's tuck the toes, and we're going to sit down towards the heels, press into the feet, and we're just going to float the knees. And then let's go ahead and take the knees back straight. Let's find a downward facing dog. Set it up how you like it. These days, my favorite thing to do is press my shoulders forward, like press out of the shoulder joint, and then roll my shoulders back and down, and then reset. Like let the weight move back into my arms and shoulders. I like to push a little bit against the sticky mat. Use both arms to push and prod in the shoulders. We can walk our dog a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and land the knees and make sure to untuck the toes. And let's take some child's pose. Just settle down towards the mat. Be comfortable. That's the main point of the pose, to rest intentionally and to switch off intentionally. Okay, let's come on back upright. Or upright enough to make a tabletop anyway. And we're going to step the right foot forward. Right foot comes up outside the right hand. And let's tuck the back toes and then pop up the back knee. Okay, send weight back into the back foot. Get solid in the back foot and shift the sternum so it's directly over the right foot. Now, our right leg can hold us up, okay? And let's first curl up from the hips, so still big bend in the knee, and once our upper body's upright, then straighten the knee. And I haven't tried this yet, but let's just try to turn that to the other side, right? Pivot so that the left toes pivot out, and we need to realign the upper body so we're pointing in the same direction as the left toes, so pointing towards the other side of the mat. And then we'll stay upright, bend the knee, right? Get a deep bend in the knee. Make sure to keep the sternum directly over the left foot, and then we'll come back down and bring our hands to the mat. Okay? And then let's step the left foot back and just turn it into a downward facing dog. Give the shoulders the side to side or the up and down. Give the shoulders the attention that they want. Okay, let's bend our knees again. And we'll bring the knees down to the mat. And we'll just move to our backs to do a few things. And let's bring the right knee right up in front of us. And we're going to hold the right knee with both hands. And then first, just gently pull in. And usually whatever direction the limb is moving, like if our leg is moving towards us, the back side of that is what is stretching. So as the knee pulls in, the back of the hips, the back of the glutes gets the big space. And then let's just take the knee side to side, right? Use both hands to steer the knee side to side. All right, let's take the leg out straight, and then we'll get the left knee in. Give it a little pull in first. And then we'll go side to side. Okay? This time, let's get both knees in. We'll make a link or make a loop with our hands and arms and give the knees a gentle bend. Or give the knees a gentle pull is what I mean. Pull in towards the chest. And then we're going to sit up towards our knees and change our grip so that we can get the toes or the feet or the ankles or the legs or somewhat. Summit. Once we've got that, let the back come to the floor again. Get the back of the head and the shoulders down because we're way more stable that way. Try to soften into the pose or release into the pose. I find that sometimes I'm sort of fighting it and it makes balance harder, but I try to just let my back become not gooey, but I just try to make my back not so rigid and it becomes easier to balance because I just settle into the ground. All right, let's start to straighten the knees. Okay, we don't ever have to have all the way straight knees. We're just bringing them towards straight, looking for that good pull in the back of the legs that tell us, I'm calming down, my blood pressure is lowering, my breathing is slowing down. And I like to play around with this and sort of turn it into a plow pose. So I'm sort of rolling up the spine and pulling my feet towards my head or above my head. So just making a moving, exploratory pose. All right, whenever you're ready, let's release the feet and we'll bring the soles of the feet flat. We got the knees bent and pointed up. Okay, let's cross the right ankle at the left knee. We're going to pivot at the hips to bring the right knee towards the ground. That means the right knee is now pointing up. Notice what that feels like. And then if we want a little more of whatever we have, press the knee away. Okay? That's good. Let's come back up onto the left foot, right? So the knee comes back up. Now it's right ankle on the left knee, and we're going to pull in. Pull in with the left knee. Get a grip on it. We can use our hands, sit up to meet the knee. And once we have our grip, now we can just lie back. And notice how that lands in the right hip. That's sort of our goal here, or our target. We want to get some sensation, steady, consistent feedback coming from the right hip. And we can pull in gently if we want to add to that. One thing that helps too is just moving the left foot side to side. Okay, this time let's just let the right knee settle over the left knee. Left shoulder stays home, and we're just going to lower to the right. Switch off control. See if we can just let the knees find their own new spot out there. But it's actively
bringing us space, is actively pulling on the left side of the body. Okay, let's come on back to center. And we'll undo the knees, and of course, we'll get those 3 variations on the other side. Left ankle on the right knee, left shoulder stays home. We're going to pivot to the right to bring the left foot down flat to the floor. Okay, notice how that lands outside the left hip and the left upper body. And if we want more, we just get the knee pressing away. Okay, let's come back up to the right foot. Now we get our right knee pulling in. We're going to get our grip on the right knee and then find it in the left hip. And if just holding on is plenty, then it's plenty. Stay here. If we want more, we just give a little pull. We just make sure that everything we do is on purpose. Awesome. Let's let the knee go. We're going to bring the right foot down and cross the left knee over the right knee. That means our right shoulder should stay home, and we're going to lower to the left. All right, let's come on back to center. And then we'll take the legs out straight. Oops. We're going to get set up for fish pose. Arms are going to tuck under us. And once our hands are secure, palms are down, start inching the elbows in. Get the elbows as close together as they'll get, because that starts expanding our upper body, the front of the body already. All right, elbows push down just to lock to the floor. And then we're going to lift our head to make our neck comfortable. And now we do a sit up, and we come up onto our elbows. And now we just try to let the upper body prop. But it has to go somewhere, right? We have to support ourselves somewhere. For now, it's in the shoulders. But do that on purpose, right? Settle into the shoulders and feel how that feels. And if it could be better, then change it, right? Roll them back, roll them forward, get them feeling stable and secure. Tent poles is how I think of my shoulders in a pose like this. I'm just trying to hang the fabric of my body on the tent poles of the bones. Okay, now we'll press. This is the direction that we push. The lower ribs, the solar plexus, the heart reaches up, and they just keep reaching up. And we can keep our head supported, or if it feels okay to let the head hang back. Either way, the important thing is that we're actively going up with the front of the body. All right, let's start to bring the head up. And then we'll use the hands and arms to lever the upper body up. And then let's find one more good easy pose. and we'll do a little bit of breathing. I think what we'll do today is, let's do the 4, 7, 8. A good hypotenuse. That 7 is our hypotenuse. So the 4 is the inhale, the 7 is the hold, and the 8 is the exhale. And this one has no hold after the exhale. So we're going from breathing out right into breathing in. Okay? I'll count us off. The big idea here and the takeaway for when you're making up variations is that if we're making our exhales longer than the inhales, those are the calming and soothing. If we're making our inhale the dominant part of the breath, that means we're building, we're giving ourselves energy, we're flaming up. Extending the exhale means we're calming down. Okay, we're going to breathe in for 4, right? Whenever you're ready, let's breathe it in. 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're breathing out for 8. Nice, slow, controlled exhale. 6, 7, 8. All right, right into the inhale. 1, 3, 4. Hold for 7. And then exhale for 8. Let's take a few more trips around the triangle. That's a good stopping point. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.